Lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You're 6 minutes away from a live episode of Free Talk Live, brought to you by freekeen.com. Listen live at freetalklive.com.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, August 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,206 per ounce. Zen is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,881. Antiwar.com reports one day after Pentagon officials said they expected to soon resume major war games in South Korea, they have been overruled by President Trump. Trump issued a statement on Wednesday saying he sees no reason to resume war games now. Trump announced the halt to war games after his summit with Kim Jong-un. He said the exercises were provocative to North Korea and that the U.S. would save a fortune by not engaging in them. Since most war games in South Korea simulate an invasion of North Korea, they do indeed tend to raise tensions significantly. The Pentagon's talk of resuming war games comes after President Trump canceled Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's planned visit to North Korea. This was raising a lot of concern that U.S. talks with North Korea were about to collapse. This was followed up with reports that North Koreans had sent a belligerent letter to Trump. Officials have since clarified that the letter sought a peace deal with the U.S., which U.S. officials say they aren't willing to offer. Trump downplayed all of this talk, however, saying he thinks his relationship with Kim is doing well. He went on to accuse China of putting tremendous pressure on North Korea to not make any progress. Trump added that he can restart the war games anytime he wants, and if he does, they will be far bigger than ever before. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Detroit school officials shut off drinking water at all of the district schools after testing revealed that some had elevated levels of lead and copper in their water, according to an announcement from the superintendent. Detroit Public Schools Community District Superintendent Nikolai Vitti said there were water quality issues at 34 of the district's more than 100 schools, including 18 with pre-existing problems where water filters had been installed. The school district undertook testing during the spring and found 16 locations had higher than acceptable levels of copper and/or lead in one or more water source. Vitti said he immediately turned off all drinking water at those schools and provided them with bottled water until water coolers could be installed. Vitti said in a statement emailed to UPI, although we have no evidence that there are elevated levels of copper or lead in our other schools, over 50, where we are awaiting test results, out of an abundance of caution and concern for the safety of our students and employees, I am turning off all drinking water in all our schools until a deeper and broader analysis can be conducted to determine the long-term solution for our schools. Students were scheduled to return to school after the summer break next week. Detroit is about 70 miles southeast of Flint, Michigan, which has been plagued with tainted water since April 2014, when city officials decided to draw water from the Flint River, switching from its previous source of Lake Huron. In addition to causing lead poisoning in children, the improperly treated water supply led to a deadly outbreak of Legionnaire's disease. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com. Reuters reports a former University of Southern California gynecologist accused of sexually assaulting hundreds of students has agreed to suspension of his medical license. Dr. George Tyndall reached an agreement this week with the Medical Board of California, temporarily prohibiting him from practicing medicine until it makes a final decision on the status of his license, according to a board spokeswoman, Susan Walbarst. Attorneys for Tyndall did not respond to requests for comment, and USC has not responded to a request for comment on the suspension of Tyndall's license. Tyndall resigned from USC last year after an internal inquiry found that some of his examination practices went beyond accepted medical standards and that he had harassed his patients. Thus far, he has not been charged with any crime. The university had suspended Tyndall in 2016 after a complaint from a health worker accusing him of making sexually inappropriate comments to patients. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
But first, our parenting expert, Rebecca McCallum, is here with some advice.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning, Rebecca. Now, Rebecca runs a popular parenting blog called Mom Magic.
That's right. It's about the everyday parenting choices that could make a big difference on our children.
Rebecca, I read the blog a lot. My first question is, who the hell do you think you are telling me how to raise my kids?
I have a degree in early childhood education, but my greatest education has been raising 3 beautiful kids of my own.
Okay, Rebecca, what other bullshit do you have the nerve to share with us this morning?
I talk about this in my book, and it does take a lot of effort, but parents really should teach their child a second language. My daughter Hazel and I are learning French together.
Wow, I'll bet a lot of moms watching right now are thinking, you.
Well, I get that a lot, but the window during which language acquisition skills are at their peak is really very small.
I wish I had done that. You win, but guess what I just remembered? You're not my boss.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We'll give you the toll-free call-in lines here momentarily where you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. Us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And I
Echo.
don't know why we have an echo there on the ISDN. Let me mute that and put on the Comrex. And it sounds like we've got an echo there as well.
Maybe we need to disconnect the Comrex.
I'll just keep an eye on the clock, and then we'll know, and I'll try figuring it out during the break, because trying to do tech while on the air ain't easy.
Doesn't work? Shouldn't you turn that over to our team of professional audio producers and things like that?
Oh, the professional audio producer that
over in the control room.
No, the professional audio producer that sometimes on Thursdays is sitting in studio but is having some barbecue right now. That guy?
Good for him. Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, so it's Ian, Heather, and Chris in studio, and we've actually got a follow-up to a story.
Ian, Heather, and Chris? Did you just call yourself Ian?
I don't know. Did I call myself Ian?
You totally did.
I don't know. I'm Darryl. I think I'm Darryl.
I think you were thinking of Ian.
Last time I checked, I'm Darryl. I'm so used to Ian sitting in the first chair and hearing
like it's Ian, Heather, and Chris. I'm like, yeah. I don't see him anywhere.
Well, whoever I am, I'm here. And Chris, you've got to follow up to a story that we covered going on 2 years ago now.
Yeah.
Where this, at the time, he was a 93-year-old retired pastor. I think now he's about 95. Had been arrested, I believe, 2 or 3 consecutive nights in Fort Lauderdale for violating a municipal ordinance against distributing food in public.
Yeah, more specifically, and let's just
He was feeding homeless people.
He was feeding the homeless.
Yes.
And that is just not a good thing to do, according to some people.
Right. And my reading of that ordinance, it was written so broadly to where if the 3 of us gathered in a park, and I brought sandwiches, Chris, you brought drinks, and Heather, you brought chips, and we passed those around, we would be in violation of that ordinance because it was written so broadly.
Yeah. And you'll have that a lot in these types of ordinances. They're out to address one quote unquote issue, say it's feeding the homeless, or saying it's people panhandling, or things like that. Things where what some people may see as a less desirable element of society, is invited and encouraged to be in a particular location. And in this case, I'm very, very happy to report that a federal court has basically ruled in favor of these activists. This comes to us from Reason.com. An activist group's weekly food sharing events are constitutionally protected expressive conduct under the First Amendment, according to a federal court. The ruling invoked not just the Constitution, but Shakespeare and the Bible. At issue was a feud between the city of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the city's chapter of Food Not Bombs, a group that seeks to end both poverty and war. Members gather each week at a local park and share food with homeless people. But in 2014, the city passed an ordinance making it a lot harder to hold those events. The ordinance required a permit for public food distribution in some areas, and food sharing was banned altogether. Fort Lauderdale took the ordinance very seriously to the point of arresting 2 pastors and a 90-year-old man for refusing to follow the restrictions. In February 2015, Food Not Bombs sued the city, claiming the ordinance violates the First Amendment. The U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida ruled in favor of Fort Lauderdale, but Food Not Bombs appealed. In a ruling dated August 22nd, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit handed the group a major victory.
All right, and what was the major victory?
I was just giving you a pause so you could interject some thoughtful question there, Darryl, but you got none, so here we go. Judge Ethelbert...
Well, no, that is a very thoughtful question of what is the major victory.
Well, I'm going to tell you. Now I'm going to tell you about it.
No, so since you want a significant thought...
Commentary.
Did the court wind up saying... Fort Lauderdale police, you made a mistake by arresting these people, expunge their records, give them compensation for the amount of time that they were in jail? Or did the court just wind up saying, yeah, throw the law out, you can't arrest people for this? My guess is it's the latter, and these people still have an arrest record.
I think you're probably right. Judge Alberto Jordan's majority opinion stresses the form and context of the group's meals. Eating food with others is very different from eating alone, he writes, quote, unlike a solitary supper, a feast requires the host to entertain and the guest to interact, unquote. Jordan backs that up by citing Macbeth. Lady Macbeth knew this and chided her husband for, quote, not giving the cheer at a banquet depicted in Shakespeare's play. As she explained, quote, to feed were best at home, from thence the sauce to meat is ceremony. Meat bear without it, unquote.
All right, so now Macbeth and the works of Shakespeare are legal documents to be cited in court.
There's a lot of things that are cited in court, Darryl, that are not legal documents. I think TV shows have been cited in court in some example. These are illustrative, not meant to be case law. He throws in some references to the Bible and the Pilgrims. Quote, the significance of sharing meals with others dates back millennia. The Bible recounts that Jesus shared meals with tax collectors and sinners to demonstrate that they were not outcasts in his eyes. See Mark 2, verses 13 to 17, Luke 5, verses 29 to 32. In 1621, Pilgrims and Native Americans celebrated the harvest by sharing the first Thanksgiving in Plymouth. By organizing weekly food-sharing events, he concludes, Food Not Bombs is trying to make a political point that money spent on war should be used to end poverty instead.
It's kind of funny, though, the Thanksgiving thing. I never really thought about that. Like, oh, there you are arresting him for feeding homeless people. Yeah, we celebrate Thanksgiving as a national federal holiday.
Right, and what do we talk about?
Sharing food.
Yeah, well, we do share
Giving
food.
Thanks.
Yeah, being thankful, and it is one of those things, one of those holidays that we do think of the homeless, and we do think of people that do not have it as good as we do.
Give thanks to the Native Americans who saved the Pilgrims' asses.
Yeah.
Some people do give thanks for that.
I definitely think about that every Thanksgiving. Is like thinking about the people that don't have anywhere to go,
Yeah.
like that they don't have somebody to sit down to eat with.
Right.
And
and it's not just a meal. It's sort of that fellowship to the getting together with family and friends.
The fact that you even have the family and friends.
Let's go to the phones, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We've got Michael calling in from Virginia Beach. Michael, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Just to follow up on my conversation last night with presidential candidate Darryl Perry.
Yes, you called in with some weird hypothetical that at the end of the call, I still had no clue what your actual question was.
So let's try.
So let's sort of give a brief recap for people that might not have been listening last night. You were giving the example of if I were the president and my son had a meeting with some Russian guy, and then my lawyer and my son's lawyer were in the meeting, I wouldn't know about it for 6 days or something. And basically, he was describing a scenario involving Trump, and he was trying to say, would you believe that you wouldn't actually know these things?
We'll just use the name Darryl Jr.
Oh, he used that
Okay,
name.
Perfect. Okay,
Yeah, so go ahead with your weird
hypothetical
that makes absolutely no sense.
Please.
Oh, okay. Well, the big controversy that the Fox News Network is concentrating on, along with Rush Limbaugh and Jay Sekulow, who happens to be the president's private attorney, the big controversy that they're concentrating on nonstop on their 3-hour shows, 1-hour show, whatever the length of it has to be. The big controversy is that meeting that took place in Trump Tower, in which Don Jr. and Jared Kushner, the son-in-law of Donald Trump,
We can't hold him over.
And his campaign manager, Paul Manafort.
Right.
So we are...
Hold the thought, Michael. Grab a piece of paper, write down the note, and get to the point. This is Free Talk Live. Is now Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond currency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Do you operate a retail business and are looking for a solution for point-of-sale cryptocurrency acceptance? It's never been easier thanks to AnyPay.global. There's no paperwork or approval process to open an account. If you already have a tablet, you're almost done. Just sign up at AnyPay.global, drop your personal crypto wallet addresses on the setup page, and then load the app. That's it. You're accepting cryptocurrency like Bitcoin and Dash at your store. Get started now at AnyPay.global. AnyPay.global.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. Save ATPurse.com.
If you're looking for work, or even if you're not, here's an innocent mistake you really want to avoid. Never return calls before listening to your voicemail. Your wireless phone sends calls you didn't answer into voicemail, and it shows you phone numbers for calls you missed. Important. Don't call back callers you missed until you have first listened to your messages. Otherwise, you frustrate people who bothered to leave messages by asking them to repeat a message they just left as your voicemail greeting instructed them to. If you're a job applicant, this alone could be a deal killer. And even if you're not, there are few things you can convey to someone that are as fundamentally maddening as, "I didn't hear you." With money and attention so scarce now, effective communication skills have never been more important. For more tips for job seekers and everyone else, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You can call in, join us by dialing 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. We also have some Discord call-in lines, 3 of them, in fact, and you can find that at discord.lrn.fm. We'll get back to the phones here in just a second, but Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveAtPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, BTC. And now you can fund your account with Bitcoin Cash, BCH. You can save between 5 to 33% on things that you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveAtPurse.com. You add items to your cart, you fund your account, you select your discount, and then you save. SaveAtPurse.com. Chris, I know you've been using it recently, or at least Ian has been using it for a project that you two were working on.
I can say, based on the dollar volume that we've been spending, it's been...
Are you two the guys that have saved the $4 million?
Not quite $4 million, but man, when you're getting, and we're consistently getting, I think, 20 to 25% off every order from Amazon.
Yeah.
So that's everywhere from, chairs to laptops to projectors to you name it. It's been crazy. It's been great.
Yeah. So SaveAtPurse.com. Again, SaveAtPurse.com. Let's go back to the phones where we've got Michael calling in from Virginia Beach, and he wants to follow up on a hypothetical that he called in about last night that I couldn't understand what the point of the hypothetical was last night, and so far I'm still lost. So, Michael, hopefully you can clarify this for me.
Okay, well, it's very simple. I'll preface it by saying this. Any presidential candidate who marries someone born behind the Iron Curtain to a Soviet official, as in the case of Melania Trump, they are going to be the subject of a counter-espionage investigation for the rest of their natural lives, as are all their children and all their in-laws. That's how we are set up and structured. This is unprecedented that a president of the United States, after having run for president and lost 2 times, would run a 3rd time married to a former Soviet official's daughter.
So I know that Trump ran briefly in 2000. When was the 2nd time that he lost? You said he lost twice?
Well, yeah, he actually lost before that. He ran also briefly in the 1990s, and actually he's been campaigning since 1981, openly campaigning.
Right. So you're talking about two different things. You're talking about security clearances and investigations and things like that, but then you're saying this absolutely cannot happen. Well, you know, I used to have a ridiculously high top secret clearance, and I've been through that process. I know that it is a deep, deep background check. I know that people that I would have never imagined getting talked to were talked to by feds, and they were investigated, and I was investigated, and I've got calls from friends of mine who had to go through clearances. If you pass all that, what do you mean it's never going to end? Now, I know my active file is going to be active till I'm 99 or death. That's how long my security clearance gets investigated. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that everything that Fox News' legal expert analyst Greg Jarrett is saying really comes under the category of open sedition against the United States.
Who cares what Fox News has to say?
And who cares what Greg Jarrett has to say?
Well,
I mean, a lot of do. I kind of think a lot it matters too when you consider like the amount of viewers that Fox and CNN and all these mainstream medias have. It is relevant to discuss how that could potentially influence their viewers.
Oh, I'm fine with discussing it. I just
as far as like
don't
the
see
who cares,
the point.
I would say I care what they say because what they say affects a large audience.
Absolutely, and it actually falls into the category of sedition. It's bald-faced lies. And it makes all of them look like they have been compromised by Russian intelligence.
Well, they were bought out recently, I heard, by Disney, Walt Disney.
Say that again?
I heard that Fox News was bought by the Walt Disney Company.
I thought you meant the Russians were bought by Walt Disney.
No, is there a Russian ties to Walt Disney? Who knows? There could be. The plot thickens.
You just started another conspiracy theory.
No,
Another way to go.
Don't give the conspiracy theorist any more ammunition.
Well, see, I never really thought, I didn't know. So what kind of, Melania's father, what kind of Russian official was he?
Well, the obvious profile or the apparent profile of his career is the KGB station chief in Slovenia.
Okay.
So is this just speculation, or you know this, or what?
No, I'm just saying from public news sources, not from any intelligence sources.
So speculation, and so what if Melania's dad worked for some Russian agency? What does that have to do with whether or not President Trump is fit to be president?
Well, he's probably still working for intelligence, and he's in and out of the White House at will.
Well, you'd never really leave the intelligence field. He's in and out of the White House at will. He can just walk up there, walk into any office, grab any papers, whip out his little Minox camera and take little pictures of things.
It is an interesting fact, though, I think.
Oh, it is.
I'm definitely going to go home now and look more into, like... I didn't know that she was... Like, I knew she obviously was, like, Melania. The name's, like, foreign. I didn't really know too much about her background.
So, Michael, very quickly, what is the point of all of this? Is there a point, or you just want to complain about
Darryl,
stuff?
stop hating.
Well, the point is, what is happening on Fox News is the setup for martial law that will make Donald Trump the communist dictator of the United States.
I've been hearing this same theory for 15 years about President George Bush is going to be a dictator. Hell, 20 years ago, Bill Clinton's going to set up a dictatorship and cancel the year 2000 election.
Hey, that might still happen.
You never know. I mean,
time travel.
Times are always subject to change, I mean,
yeah.
For me,
greatest
it's the boy
empire
that calls wolf.
can fall,
I get it.
The economy is going to collapse in 6 months. I've been hearing for 20 years.
Yeah. If
it's the boy that cries wolf.
I don't doubt that
economy could collapse, though.
It could.
Everything's in the
But
realm
if you
of
keep telling me
possibilities.
it's going to happen in 6 months, and I've been hearing it for 20 years, I'm less likely to believe you. Yes, there could be a wolf gnawing on my leg right now, but if you keep saying wolf, and I've heard it 1,000 times, I'm not going to believe you.
It's just Jazzy.
Jazzy's a good dog. She would never chew off my leg.
She'd never do that. I know.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. More on the story about the victory of sorts in Florida for feeding the homeless. This is Free Talk Live.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
If you like alkaline water, or know someone that does, you're going to love the Dylan Living Water Bottle. It creates alkaline water on the go while reducing plastic waste and saving you money. Made with surgical-grade stainless steel, the Dylan bottle increases the pH up to 9 to deliver both alkaline and antioxidant water anywhere you want it. Alkaline water is healthier, tastes better, and can even boost energy. The Dylan bottle makes it easy and affordable to be healthy and achieve optimal hydration. Get your Dylan bottle today at dyln.co. That's dyln.co.
Free Talk Live, the show where anyone can call about whatever they want. And we do mean anyone.
World fast for peace. I don't understand what she said. If the whole world fasted like Gandhi, we would see great results for this struggle to survive world order.
There's never going to be any peace. You sound like you're on drugs, dear. It sounds like you're a flower child. You're pumped up on drugs.
Any woman who doesn't agree with you is on drugs or something.
I may be a racist and anti-Semite, but I have all my faculties.
Well, racism and sexism are one.
You're one of those love mankind, love thy neighbor.
And I am too, and thank you both for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. That is the one thing I can certainly agree with the lady on. Normally, I can't understand a word that she says, but I think Scott, the bigot, did interpret her correctly, and that she is interested in peace, and I like that.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern. Live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That is the toll-free call-in line where you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Chris, you're over there keeping an eye on the Twitch stream.
I have been.
And what is Twitch?
Twitch was originally developed as a way to stream your video games so you could have other people watch as you play. But now you can also set up other kinds of programs, so video blogs and, in this case, live video from different talk radio shows and things like that.
My understanding is they have a somewhat strong talk category there on Twitch.
I haven't looked through the whole thing, but I know we're on it, so that means the number one best libertarian-oriented talk radio show in America is definitely on Twitch.
Yes, you can go there, twitch.lrn.fm. You should follow. Following on Twitch costs you nothing, and then you get notices of whenever we do things, or you can subscribe, and subscribe on Twitch is different than a subscribe on YouTube, where a subscribe on YouTube would be the follow on Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch means that Free Talk Live gets a little bit of money. Now, if you're an Amazon Prime user, you don't wind up, having anything extra taken out of your pocket because Amazon owns Twitch. And so they just do some tricky bookkeeping shell game sort of stuff and send us some money. Twitch.lrn.fm. So we started off with an update out of South Florida where this, I think, 93-year-old pastor, the story said 90-something-year-old.
It was two pastors and the 90-year-old man.
Got it.
Yep.
Had been arrested over a series of several nights for distributing food to anyone, specifically homeless, but they weren't turning people away if they showed up to get the food. And they were arrested because Fort Lauderdale had some kind of ordinance about food sharing and distribution of food in certain spots without permits.
Yep.
And this wound up going to a federal court, originally the federal district there in South Florida, and then it was appealed up to the full 11th Circuit.
Yeah, originally, yes. Southern District, U.S. District Court of Southern District of Florida ruled in favor of Fort Lauderdale, but then it went to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 11th Circuit, and they were the ones that handed the group a victory.
Now, do we know if this was the full panel of judges, or was it just a one judge at the 11th Circuit? Because I know that there are steps.
Yeah. I don't know. In this case, I assume it would have been the full panel because the line reads Judge Adalberto Jordan's majority opinion.
Okay.
So that would indicate there were at least three.
Yes.
Yeah. And I'm going to continue. And Judge Adalberto Jordan also goes on to quote Macbeth and talking about feeding and feasts and quotes the Bible, and he refers to the Pilgrims. By organizing weekly food-sharing events, he concludes, Food Not Bombs is trying to make a political point that money spent on war should be used to end poverty instead. Thus, Jordan says, these events are protected speech under the First Amendment. Quote, providing food in a visible public place and partaking in meals that are shared with others is an act of political solidarity meant to convey the organization's message, unquote.
Right, and let's focus on this for a second. Even though the First Amendment supposedly just recognizes blanket protection of free speech.
Right.
We, our judicial system is largely based on case law, and courts throughout the 200 and however many years they've been deciding these things have determined that political speech has extra protections.
Yes.
So if you can say, I'm making this as a political statement, then you have more protections than if you're just, out there screaming about the weather or something.
Good point.
So it's very important here that they're saying, this is a political group. They are making a political message in doing this thing.
Right. And acts of political solidarity are meant to be symbolic. Quote, History may have been quite different had the Boston Tea Party been viewed as mere dislike for a certain brew and not a political protest against the taxation of American colonies without representation. Unquote.
Why do you hate tea?
I don't hate tea.
Then why'd you throw it in the harbor? Why do you hate tea, Chris?
I would still...
Is it Earl Grey that you don't
love
like?
to have another tea party like that. I would be throwing tea because, how dare Washington impose a 3% tax?
Only a 3%. What were the tariff rates that just went through on various things? Between like 15 to 35%, depending on which tariff it was?
On steel. But even when we talk taxation, all I want to say is take a look at your paychecks, add up all the totals under taxes, and then go, wow, they started a revolutionary war over basically 3%.
Right.
That's a big difference. The 11th Circuit's ruling did not strike down Fort Lauderdale's ordinance, but it did send the case back down to the lower court. Now the district court will have to rule on whether Fort Lauderdale's ordinance actually violates the First Amendment. While it's great that Food Not Bombs has a constitutional right to feed the homeless, it remains to be seen how this ruling will affect organizations that aren't trying to convey a political message. Many local governments have cracked down on feeding the homeless over the years. One would hope the 11th Circuit Court's ruling will force cities to repeal those discriminatory and unconstitutional restrictions.
One would hope, but it sounds like the court kind of punted this decision of, hey, you made the kind of not right decision, but you made it for the wrong reason, and we think you should have made a decision for this reason. So now take another look at it.
Right. And anytime I read and they've returned it to the lower court, it's like, this is the story.
Overruled and remanded. It's like, all right.
Right. But the ruling doesn't recognize a universal right to voluntarily help people in need. And that's pretty much it. And that's why this story was titled First Amendment Protects Feeding the Homeless, sort of.
Question mark. Now,
sort of, but it's a good step.
Yeah, and in a somewhat related story out of New Jersey, and there's generally not much good that comes out of New Jersey, and this story, it's not really good, and it's out of New Jersey. Story from WIVB says a homeless man whose selfless act of using his last $20 to fill up the gas tank of a stranded motorist in Philadelphia got him worldwide attention. He's suing a couple who led a $400,000 fundraising campaign to help him. Johnny Bobbitt says he's concerned that Mark D'Amico and Katie McClure have mismanaged a large part of the donations raised for him on GoFundMe. The New Jersey couple denies that claim, saying they're wary of giving Bobbitt large sums because they fear he would buy drugs. Bobbitt's lawsuit contends the couple committed fraud by taking money from the fundraiser campaign for themselves. He's seeking undisclosed damages, and his lawyers want a judge to appoint someone to oversee the account.
Okay, so
I remember that.
I've not heard this one, but basically the homeless guy, does something kind of selfless.
Yep.
And they decide, wow, what a great deal. We're going to do a GoFundMe. We're going to raise some money for them so he can quit being homeless. And they take the money for themselves, and they were afraid to give it to him because he was maybe going to buy drugs with it.
It doesn't say. He's alleging that they've kept the money for themselves. They've said, we're just not giving him the lump sum.
So they're just going to
He admitted, to buying drugs with it.
So
no,
I'm just saying, you said
Right.
that they alleged, and I'm just saying that he admitted to buying drugs.
Well, the article here says that they feared that he would buy drugs. It doesn't in the first two paragraphs mention whether he's bought drugs or not.
Must have been very scary.
I read
drugs.
another one where they interviewed him, and he said that he'd given some of the original 25 to friends and family, and then he bought drugs with some of it.
So there's more to this. We'll get into it. Apparently there was a hearing on this scheduled for earlier today, plus your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live. On August 24th, 1992, 20 eager Cardozo Law students filed into a small room to kick off the first day of Barry Scheck and Peter Newfield's Innocence Project clinic. After years as public defenders in New York City, Barry and Peter started the clinic to review cases of people in prison who could prove their innocence using DNA testing. What they thought was a few hundred cases turned out to be thousands, and a clear sign that the system needed repair. At the time, no one imagined that Barry's and Peter's vision would evolve into a national organization with the power to reform the criminal justice system 26 years later. Since that August day in 1992, there are now 565 Cardozo Law School clinic students trained, and the Innocence Project has celebrated 208 exonerations. They've also worked together to pass over 150 laws in the U.S. to help prevent wrongful convictions. You can support the Innocence Project by going to run.freetalklive.com. That's run.freetalklive.com.
Have you experienced the miracle of CBDs? They can help you reduce suffering, reduce stress, help you sleep better, modulate inflammation in the body, and is absolutely safe. Meta Hemp Solutions offers a radically innovative approach to CBDs for exceptional results. Stop suffering and reduce your stress now. Isn't it time for a good night's sleep? Stop worrying about tomorrow today. Lab tested for potency, purity, and is non-psychoactive. Free shipping to all 50 states. Try our product risk-free, money-back guarantee. Use code GCN15 to get 15% off. That's code GCN15 to get 15% off. Offer ends soon, so visit MetaHemp Solutions today at metahempsolutions.com or call 833-858-7500. Suffer no more. Get rid of the stress and sleep better. Get our product now at metahempsolutions.com. That's metahempsolutions.com.
Hi, I'm Derek J. I don't want a politician to represent me. To me, government is the idea that one group of people can coerce everyone to comply with an edict or face increasing punishments up to and including death. Despite perhaps the most noble of intentions, the best government services are a far cry from what could be provided for by voluntary interactions. Besides, the people who call themselves the government wage wars and put peaceful people in jail for crimes involving no victims. If Starbucks used some of its money to drop bombs, I wouldn't shop there. So why would I support the American empire? The empire does not require my consent.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. That's victimlesscrimespree.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. We'll get back into this article here in just a second. And I just found a news update from, I think it was Philly.com, because there was a hearing earlier today on this suit. And again, we'll get back into it. But first, I want to make sure that I tell you about a tool that you can use, especially if you're a cryptocurrency advocate, talking about Crypto Tip. It's a printable business card size tip that you can give to your service provider, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it brings up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and then allows them to claim the amount that you have put on the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get the tip refunded to you after a period of time that you specify. Your options are 1, 2, 3, 6, or 12 months. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many as you want at cryptotip.org. Cryptotip.org. Now with Dash and Bitcoin Cash BCH. Cryptotip.org. Chris, I know that you're a crypto advocate. Have you used the crypto tip?
I have not done that yet. Got a bunch of other things, but I've used this is not the first time that something like this has been out there.
Right.
Tip programs have existed before, and I've used those. They're really, really effective, and I think this one's neat because it brings some new cryptocurrencies into play, and it's good stuff.
Yeah, cryptotip.org. So jumping back into the story here from WIVB out of New Jersey, homeless Samaritan suing couple who raised funds to help him. So this guy wound up, and actually the story gets into it and tells you exactly what happened. Johnny Bobbitt one night helped out Katie McClure. McClure set up an online fundraising page as a way to give back to Bobbitt, who came to her aid when she ran out of gas one night on Interstate 95. It raised more than $400,000, donated by more than 14,000 people. Bobbitt walked a few blocks to buy McClure gas. She didn't have any money to repay him at the time, but she sought him out a few days later to give him the money and visited him a few more times to bring food and water. They later appeared together on shows like Good Morning America and were interviewed by the BBC. But the relationship has since gone sour. Christopher Fallon, one of Bobbitt's lawyers, told the Philadelphia Inquirer that the legal action was taken by D'Amico, or rather after D'Amico ignored multiple requests for a full accounting of the money raised on GoFundMe. The attorney says he's really left us with no choice but to go forward. Fallon, one of the two pro bono lawyers from Cozen O'Connor in Philadelphia. McClure and D'Amico have repeatedly denied any wrongdoing or misuse of funds. D'Amico had said that Bobbitt spent $25,000 in less than 2 weeks in December on drugs, in addition to paying overdue legal bills and sending some money to family.
Well, that's certainly painting it in the worst light. If you said it the other way around, he sent money to his family, he paid some overdue legal bills, and then he bought some drugs.
Yeah.
Instead, it's he bought drugs, and he sent some money to his family, paid some bills. So
I mean, he could have bought a ton of drugs, though. You don't know.
Depends on the drug.
The couple also bought Bobbitt a camper with some of the funds and parked it on land the McClure's family owns in Florence. But Bobbitt became homeless again after D'Amico told him in June that he had to leave the property.
I mean, my thoughts on this, because like on the one hand, I feel like, okay, so people donated the money. It should definitely go to him. At the same time, people also donated it to help get him off the streets.
Right.
So you kind of have... I don't think it would be a bad idea if the money was put in like an annuity that like paid him out like X amount of money per month. You know what I mean? Because the whole point is to help get this guy off the streets. And if he wants to stay living on the streets and spend it all on drugs, that also is not what people intended the money to go for, as well as they didn't intend it to go to the other people. Do you know what I mean? So
right, I agree with you.
It kind of like the funds, in my opinion, should get put to use in a way that's going to make this guy, take him off the streets and make him as productive a member of society as possible. Because that's kind of...
Well, here it becomes a contract issue, I think, in my mind. If you're using GoFundMe and they've spelled out what the purpose is for your donation, where it's going to go and how it's going to be used, then I think following that is the right thing to do.
Do they have a link to the original GoFundMe where you can see what the...
You could probably find it, but there's not links from this article.
Here, I'll pull it up if you want to keep going with it.
And, well, then we're talking about some kind of thing to where the donors to this would maybe, and I don't know what the terms of service necessarily say for GoFundMe, if a donor can wind up saying, I want my money back because I heard that the guy didn't do the thing.
Right.
And there's a lot of trust that goes into some of this. But there is an update. Again, there was the court hearing earlier today, and the Philly Inquirer has the story. A Burlington County couple must turn over by Friday afternoon what's left of the donations from a $400,000 GoFundMe campaign that they started to help Johnny Bobbitt. Judge Paula T. Dow on Thursday ordered McClure and D'Amico to transfer the GoFundMe funds to an escrow account within 24 hours and hire a forensics accountant to review the financial records within 10 days.
Wow.
The money will be frozen and placed in an account with the Cozen O'Connor law firm that Bobbitt has retained. The funds cannot be used until the court determines how it will be managed. Do you have an update here?
Yeah, so I found the original GoFundMe.
All right.
So this woman posted the story, driving into Philly one night, I made the mistake of thinking that I would be able to make it all the way down I-95 with my gas light on. Needless to say, I was wrong. I never ran out of gas before, and my heart was beating out of my chest. I pulled over as far as I could and got out of the car to the nearest gas station. That's when I met Johnny. Johnny sits on the side of the road every day holding a sign. He saw me pull over and knew something was wrong. He told me to get back in the car and lock the doors. A few minutes later, he comes back with a red gas can, using his last $20 to make sure I could get home safe. Johnny did not ask me for $1, and I couldn't repay him at the moment because I didn't have any cash, but I have been stopping by his spot for the past few weeks. I repaid him for the gas, gave him a jacket, gloves, a hat, warm socks, and I give him a few dollars every time I see him. I wish that I could do more for this selfless man who went out of his way to help me. He's such a great guy, and talking to him each time, it makes me want to help him more. Well, there's only 2 more paragraphs.
So, yeah. But it's kind of interesting that suddenly...
Okay, here's the detail. She says, I am raising money for Johnny. With the money, I would like to get him his first and last month's rent at an apartment, a reliable vehicle, and 4 to 6 months worth of expenses. He is very interested in finding a job, and I believe that with a place to be able to clean up every night and get a good night's rest, his life can get back to being normal. Truly, I believe that all Johnny needs is one little break. Hopefully, with your help, I can be the one to give it to him. Please help this man get into a home. It is already getting so cold out in Philadelphia, and I can't imagine what it will be like out there this winter.
Yeah, so now you have GoFundMe investigating this.
Well, and it does. She does put in there, though, that I will be the one to help him, you know?
Right, but now GoFundMe is also investigating this, and they've said that they will comply with any requests from law enforcement or anything else, too. So it's just one of those things. It's a dispute of intention. It's a dispute of contracts. You know, it's... If you're going to do something like this, it seems like there's a whole lot of, the way she did it, there was a lot of vagueness.
Right. I want to help him get first and last month's rent.
Right.
All right. That's pretty upfront.
Couple $1,000.
I would like to, what did it say? I would like to have 6 months
vehicle.
of expenses covered.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another couple $1,000. Get him a reliable vehicle. So $10,000, $15,000.
Sunchaser yacht, those are very reliable. You get about a 50, 60-foot sailboat.
Yeah, and
that's
a lot
reliable.
of this, we're looking at sort of with those hindsight glasses on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So instead of handing him $25,000, they could have gone to an apartment complex and said, "Hey, here's 6 months rent for this guy."
Right.
Well, what I read a couple days ago was that they ended up buying him a trailer and let him park it on their property.
Yeah, right. That's mentioned. And then in June, for some reason, and it doesn't mention what the reason was, but in June of this year, they asked him to leave the property.
Right.
There's more from the Philly Inquirer article about that court hearing that happened earlier today, plus your calls and thoughts. Welcome. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
Let's talk tough. Let's talk comfort. Let's talk about down-home value, made in the USA blue jeans, like you wore as a kid. Remember?
There's a place down in Tennessee where they make blue diamond gusset jeans. They show pride in every stitch, guarantee you love the way they fit. They put a diamond gusset in the crotch where you need it most. Blue diamond gussets got it, others don't.
For good old-fashioned comfort, get Diamond Gusset jeans. Every stitch guaranteed. And our Defender motorcycle jean comes Kevlar reinforced. See them at GUSSET.com, that's gusset.com, or call 888-848-7738. That's 888-848-7738. Diamond Gusset jeans got it, others don't.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, August 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,206 per ounce. Zen is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,881. Antiwar.com reports one day after Pentagon officials said they expected to soon resume major war games in South Korea, they have been overruled by President Trump. Trump issued a statement on Wednesday saying he sees no reason to resume war games now. Trump announced the halt to war games after his summit with Kim Jong-un. He said the exercises were provocative to North Korea and that the U.S. would save a fortune by not engaging in them. Since most war games in South Korea simulate an invasion of North Korea, they do indeed tend to raise tensions significantly. The Pentagon's talk of resuming war games comes after President Trump canceled Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's planned visit to North Korea. This was raising a lot of concern that U.S. talks with North Korea were about to collapse. This was followed up with reports that North Koreans had sent a belligerent letter to Trump. Officials have since clarified that the letter sought a peace deal with the U.S., which U.S. officials say they aren't willing to offer. Trump downplayed all of this talk, however, saying he thinks his relationship with Kim is doing well. He went on to accuse China of putting tremendous pressure on North Korea to not make any progress. Trump added that he can restart the war games anytime he wants, and if he does, they will be far bigger than ever before. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Detroit school officials shut off drinking water at all of the district schools after testing revealed that some had elevated levels of lead and copper in their water, according to an announcement from the superintendent. Detroit Public Schools Community District Superintendent Nikolai Vitti said there were water quality issues at 34 of the district's more than 100 schools, including 18 with pre-existing problems where water filters had been installed. The school district undertook testing during the spring and found 16 locations had higher than acceptable levels of copper and or lead in one or more water source. Vitti said he immediately turned off all drinking water at those schools and provided them with bottled water until water coolers could be installed. Vitti said in a statement emailed to UPI, although we have no evidence that there are elevated levels of copper or lead in our other schools, over 50, where we are awaiting test results, out of an abundance of caution and concern for the safety of our students and employees, I am turning off all drinking water in all our schools until a deeper and broader analysis can be conducted to determine the long-term solution for our schools. Students were scheduled to return to school after the summer break next week. Detroit is about 70 miles southeast of Flint, Michigan, which has been plagued with tainted water since April 2014, when city officials decided to draw water from the Flint River, switching from its previous source of Lake Huron. In addition to causing lead poisoning in children, the improperly treated water supply led to a deadly outbreak of Legionnaire's disease.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com.
Reuters reports a former University of Southern California gynecologist accused of sexually assaulting hundreds of students has agreed to suspension of his medical license. Dr. George Tyndall reached an agreement this week with the Medical Board of California, temporarily prohibiting him from practicing medicine until it makes a final decision on the status of his license, according to a board spokeswoman, Susan Walbarst. Attorneys for Tyndall did not respond to requests for comment, and USC has not responded to a request for comment on the suspension of Tyndall's license. Tyndall resigned from USC last year after an internal inquiry found that some of his examination practices went beyond accepted medical standards and that he had harassed his patients. Thus far, he has not been charged with any crime. The university had suspended Tyndall in 2016 after a complaint from a health worker accusing him of making sexually inappropriate comments to patients. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
I know I shouldn't, but these muffins are delicious.
And we'll share our favorite recipes later in the hour, but first our guest says, don't give in to road rage. Stay calm behind the wheel and coolly plot your road revenge. Danny Preston is a defensive driving instructor who teaches people how to control their temper behind the wheel. Welcome, Danny.
Well, thanks for having me. Danny, there's nothing I hate more than getting cut off.
That drives me nuts. I want to scream out my window.
Getting into an argument with a stranger isn't going to accomplish anything but stress you out. Well, how should you respond instead? In 1996, some guy gave me the middle finger after I cut him off. I recognized him from TV. That's when I decided to become a defensive driving instructor, developing the skills I needed to eventually be invited on his show as an expert. Now, once you're there, it's just a simple matter of switching out his muffins with the ones you made yourself. How many did you eat? What? I don't know.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips, Danny.
Danny is not my true name.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 2. You can call in and join us, 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And there's more to this story out of New Jersey that we'll get to in moments. The story, of course, being about the homeless man, Johnny Bobbitt, not to be confused with the other guy, last name Bobbitt, who was in the news, like 25 years ago? This guy, Good Samaritan, gave his last $20 to help a woman get some gas because she had run out of gas on the exit ramp. Her and her husband decided to put up a GoFundMe account or a GoFundMe thing, and they raised about $400,000. And Mr. Bobbitt says that the couple has been living on those donations, and it went to court. Earlier today, the judge, just to quickly recap, said that whatever remaining funds there are must be placed into an account that's being overseen by Bobbitt's lawyers that are working pro bono, by the way. The funds will be frozen, and there must be a forensic account of all financial records within 10 days. We'll explain some of that. And, of course, your calls. Let's go to Matthew calling in from Louisiana. Matthew, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening.
You're on the radio. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, I know. You had a gentleman call in, Michael from Virginia Beach.
Yes.
He said that Melania's father was in the KGB, and I heard that he managed a shoe factory.
Well, in Soviet Union, KGB runs shoe factories.
Yeah, I don't know if he was, and I asked when he said that, the dude was in the KGB, I said, do you know this, or are you speculating? And he implied that he was speculating.
Well, I tried looking it up on one of our little, intermissions there, and I couldn't find anything about the KGB. I read something that he dealt with cars or something like that, and then another thing that he was like a member.
Official. He was kind of like a.
I read he was a member of some communist party in Slovenia.
Right, almost everybody in the Soviet Union was a member of the Communist Party.
Well, and this was in what, Yugoslavia?
They didn't have a lot of other options. Now,
right. I think I'd like to join the Republicans.
Is there something that I'm missing in the U.S. Constitution that says we must be in a permanent state of hostility with Russia?
Yes, that's article.
I don't have anything.
No, it's not in there. Of course not.
It was Russians that
47.
Amendment 47. I forgot about that amendment.
See, I always think back to the Boston.
Okay, Amendment 47. I thought it was Amendment 1984.
Yeah,
we will now do our 5 minutes of hate at a picture of Vladimir Putin.
Yeah. Well, see, I always think when people bring up the Russians, I always remember the Boston Marathon bombing, and when it came out that Russian KGB, whatever you want to call it, Russian intelligence actually warned the FBI of the two brothers and their radical stuff because they'd intercepted communications from them when they were over there. So
hey, keep an eye on these Chechens.
Exactly. Right. That's exactly what they said to us years before.
Hold on. You're both talking at the same time. Matthew, go ahead with your thought.
Gee, thanks, Darryl.
Yeah. What did Famous but Incompetent do? They investigated the Russians.
Right.
Now, Heather, you finish your thought.
No, I was just thank you. I was just saying that, the Russians tipped off the FBI. The FBI investigated these guys and pretty much let them go, saying, "Oh yeah, no big deal." And then poof, Boston Marathon.
Right. Yeah. And they grew up, I guess, in Yugoslavia, which was part of. That behind
Melania's family.
Melania's family grew up behind the Iron Curtain, and if you were going to be over there, if you didn't want to,
if you didn't want to go to Gulag, you were a member of Communist Party,
right? And it's amazing what they try to dredge up.
Some of this, and Matthew, thank you for the call. Some of this reminds me of some of the McCarthyist stuff from the 1950s and 60s, where there was the allegation that Lucille Ball was a member of the Communist Party, and she said, the only thing read about me is my hair, and that's even fake. But then it did turn out that at some point in her life, her and her dad had joined for some kind of reason, but it wasn't anything to where she was super involved.
Yeah, I'm reading an article by the Metro UK, and I have no idea how reliable that is, but they say that he was a member, his wife wasn't. This means Melania's father was a registered communist. Her mother wasn't, but that is pretty exceptional because at that time only around 5% of Slovenians were Communist Party members. So.
Okay.
Yeah, so it wasn't like everybody belonged, but he decided to. But who knows for what? That is a little
creepy, though.
It is, but it could also just be cronyism. I mean, if you want the big government contracts, then I'll join the party. There's a lot of reasons.
Yeah, I just think of my friend from the Czech Republic. She's an older woman. She's told me what it was like growing up there and some of the things that the government would do and how they would pick your job for you and everything. And if you did something that the government didn't approve of, they'd give you one of the jobs coal mining or something that was really bad that nobody wanted.
Right.
And if you tried to escape back when when they didn't want people leaving the country and you tried to escape, a lot of people stayed because she said she wanted to flee and come to America. And one reason she didn't leave, because if she did, then they would punish her family for it.
Yeah.
So like if her family didn't come with her and she left, then they would take the family's house. They would put them in jobs that they didn't want. So the government would retaliate against your family.
You got it.
And so
Because
thinking of people
rebellion-
promoting communism in this country just like irks me to no end.
Right, and in some of those communist countries, they believe that rebellion is hereditary. So if you're going to try, rebelling against dear leader or whomever, then, well, your cousins and your brothers and your parents and your grandparents, they probably hold these tendencies too.
Right. And I don't know, it's important to remember that time, because that was the real look at the real socialism. And let's not forget that communism is just another stage of socialism. This stuff that we're talking about is the same stuff that Bernie Sanders talks about. And it's just various places on this scale of how far you're willing to go. And when you give government the control over the means of production, then you can expect these sorts of things, exactly what we're talking about. And it's just a matter of how far it's allowed to go before it gets stomped out like it should be.
Like, here's your free food, here's your free college, here's your free healthcare. Guess what? Now we're going to tell you what you're going to do to work. There goes your freedom.
Right.
Let's go to Parker calling in from Washington. Parker, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Well, guys, as I said last night, if you have a government, you have Stockholm Syndrome, or you're more predisposed to have it, but that's not the topic that I'm calling in about tonight. So, as we all know, adrenaline or adrenaline rushes are linked to fear responses, right?
The fight or flight response there? Yeah.
Those are the two most common. There are two others that are less commonly known. There's fight, flight, appease, and freeze.
All right.
So, when it comes to our interactions with the police, we always have that adrenaline rush. Once you see those blue lights come on, or you see a cop come around the corner, boom, your adrenaline is kicking in.
So true.
Now, we don't really have any control over what we do in any given situation with the police, because adrenaline and our response to that adrenaline, it's just one of those things. It's not within our control. It's an instinctual response.
Hold on. I'm curious where you're going here with the statement of we don't have control of what we do when we interact with the police. Because I tend to think that I have control of myself when I interact with the police. I
Maybe
don't like
depends on the person.
855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
From the third letter of Captain Mark. The Crown's observation conditions us to be dishonest with ourselves. Therefore, constant surveillance produces a society of constant deception. Honest communication is the seed of civilized conduct. To deny us this seed is to deny us its fruits. But the Crown's primary objective is to stifle free thought itself, to make its subjects incapable of dissent. Seasoned pirates have always encrypted messages and codes and ciphers, so intercepted transmissions were incomprehensible. But today, the Crown possesses advanced tools of pattern recognition that document, profile, and predict our every move. Today, piracy requires hailing frequencies completely invisible to the Crown. We are tired of poltergeists in the static. Looking for a community of like-minded scoundrels, or just want some swag to let the Crown know what you think of it? Join the conversation at pirateswithoutborders.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Zencash has changed their name to Horizon to better represent their transition from a cryptocurrency to a pioneering platform that protects consumer data. They're working towards the day when anyone will be able to build privacy-based applications on the Horizon platform and generate income from them. This will allow Horizon to bring thousands of real-life services to the community, services that provide freedom, utility, and privacy. Learn more at horizon.global and join the Horizon community. HORIZEN.global. Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That's how you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. We'll get back into the story out of New Jersey here in moments about the homeless man that has sued a couple that raised some money for him. Again, we'll jump back into that. But first, I want to make sure that I tell you about the news that came out about a week ago. Zencash has rebranded and is now known as Horizon. Horizon is a privacy platform built on zero-knowledge technology with a decentralized secure node architecture. The Horizon platform enables real-life uses beyond cryptocurrency, including the ability to privately chat with other people. Soon, Horizon will enable you to publish information and go anywhere on the web, all with complete privacy. Horizon, bringing privacy to life. Learn more at horizon.global. HORIZEN.global, horizon.global. And for the next couple of weeks, you might be wanting to make sure that you listen to the podcast because there are some Zen giveaways.
Wow.
Next couple of giveaways happening exclusively through podcasts. So if you're not listening to the podcast, you might want to download it and take a listen.
Well, that's an
Horizon.global. Let's go back to Parker calling in from Washington. Parker, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but my understanding is you have alleged that people have no control over how they interact with police.
Oh, I don't think that was it.
It's not that they don't have any control. It's that the control that they have is lessened because when you have a fight or flight response, you are mentally impaired by the adrenaline that is rushing through you.
Correct.
Right, you're not thinking clearly.
It's a stressed situation, right?
I agree.
Right. So, but considering the fact that you do have some level of control, not full control over things, but enough to where you're cognizant, you realize what's going on, and you do make quick split-second decisions, some of which are not as wise as others. Let's take things to their most extreme circumstance and then move backwards. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, that the police have pulled you over.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't done anything wrong, but the officer that pulled you over decides that he's going to pull his gun and point it at you.
Right.
Now you have fight, flight, appease, and freeze. Given that particular circumstance or situation, what do you guys think would be the best response?
Yeah, I mean, well, of course the officer's going to say freeze, but I think the reaction of most people will be either appease or freeze. They're either gonna lock up. They're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to. There's no fight. There's no flight.
Right.
And the initial reaction is probably going to be to freeze, and then it's going to move to appease.
What can I do to get out of this situation alive?
And that's appease.
Right. Well, I would generally say that I tend to think that if I was in a situation like that, I myself would probably succumb to a state of freezing or appeasing. But
have you ever been pulled over by police, Parker?
A few times.
Okay.
And I speak from experience in knowing that I either appeased or froze. But if a cop pulls his gun on you, that seems to me, or it indicates to me, that the cop has already thought through his head that I'm either going to shoot this person or I'm going to use the threats of shooting this person. And with that being said, I think that...
Or if they even put their hand on the gun, which I've had that happen when I've been pulled over. I've also had a gun pointed at my face because the cops apparently went to the wrong house and they thought that I stole my own stereo. I didn't even own a stereo.
My advice to anybody in that situation, and some may disagree with me on this, but it's always going to be to freeze and appease or whatever you want to say. Because even if you can't stand the cop and the situation that's happening and what he is doing, there's nothing that will benefit you more in the long run than being the good guy. Do you know what I mean? Because anything you do in response to that can make you...
Oh, yeah.
They're going to use it against
Everything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Even if you don't say anything, that will be used against you in a court of law, because the Supreme Court about 4 years ago said that if you want to invoke your right to remain silent, you must inform the cop.
Right. But if you want to do what's in your best interest, in all honesty, and this is from my experience too with cops, is that try to be as kind as possible, even if they're the biggest jerks. Because honestly, in the long run, you got to look at it as a situation where you want to come out on top. You want to do what's in your best interest, and
it's a hostage situation.
Well, yeah, and I'm going to reduce this to its most basic, and I'm going to use a process of elimination, is because you've given us a hypothetical that says you're confronted with a police officer and he pulls a gun on you. Flight. Right. I'm going to run away. Okay, I'm going to get shot in the back.
Right.
Fight. Okay, I'm going to get shot in the front.
More profitable.
Right.
Right. So obviously, appease or freeze are the two most likely to leave me breathing.
But if you freeze, you might still wind up getting shot because you didn't do what he said.
But
because you froze up.
But I know on the other two, I'm definitely going to get shot.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I mean, look at Philando Castile as a great example. You guys were talking about this summer ago. 2 summers ago?
Last summer, where he was attempting to comply with what the officers told him to do and wound up getting shot.
Yeah, he was appeasing. Yeah, exactly. So really, when you look at it, and you could draw this to any other criminal, if you can appease, and that might make things easier. But I think that in in a way, I'm not advocating that anyone do this by any means. We're just exploring the possibilities here. But I think that generally speaking, it might possibly be a better idea. If a cop pulls a gun on me, I might just run for it, because it's like, okay, this guy clearly means to do me harm, so I'm not going to stick around to find out what's going to happen next.
Right.
Also, because my truck, when I put it into park, it automatically unlocks the front door, I've just decided, you know what? I'm not going to put my truck in park if a cop ever pulls me over. I'm going to put it in the emergency brake. I'm going to put it in like neutral or drive. And if a gun ever comes out, I'm pulling the release, and I'm just going to book it.
That sounds like an absolutely horrible idea.
I think statistically, like odds of a cop actually pulling a gun on you are pretty slim. So,
well, it's higher than being attacked by a terrorist in the U.S.
Yeah.
Parker, thank you for the call. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live.
When you use public Wi-Fi, hackers and identity thieves can see anything you do online. Embarrassing photos, your web history, even your passwords. That's why I use private internet access to encrypt my internet connection for less than 10 cents a day. Sign up now at privateinternetaccess.com, and in just a few minutes, you'll be browsing anonymously and only sharing what you want to share. privateinternetaccess.com. It's time to protect your online privacy.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io. The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1. Share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. That is how you can call in and join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. There's also the Discord call-in lines that we'll get to here in just a second. That's over at discord.lrn.fm. Chris, what is the Discord, other than a place that trolls hang out sometimes?
Trolls. There's more than trolls. Discord was.
Are there also orcs and hobbits?
The Discord is a system that was originally created, I think, mostly for gamers. And you could get together and you could chat with your gaming friends and things like that. But they kind of opened it up so anybody can sort of run their own server. And we have one that has dozens of channels. So there's shows dedicated to various LRN shows like Call to Freedom, Free Talk Live, Declare Your Independence. And there's voice channels and there's other text channels that talk, cryptocurrency or New Hampshire or gaming and all kinds of things. So there's a lot of different places you can go and take part in the Discord. Plus, you've got on-air call-in lines, which is really, really cool. And I see right now we have somebody in there. Free Market Penguin is in one of our call-in lines. So,
he's now unmuted.
He is. Well, hi there.
Discord.lrn.fm. Free Market Penguin, go ahead with your thoughts. Hello, Free Market Penguin. Do I have the right one unmuted?
Try that
here.
one.
Let me try both of these. See if we've got a Free Market Penguin going once. Free Market Penguin going twice.
He's in there.
He's in there and not speaking, so we'll just try him at a later time. So let's jump back into the article that we started talking about in the last hour about this homeless man from the Philly area, Johnny Bobbitt, who decided to one night help out Katie McClure, who ran out of gas on an exit ramp off of Interstate 95. He happened to have had $20 on him, got some gas for her. She didn't have any cash on her at the time, so she wound up over the next couple of days stopping by, giving him some food, some clothing, some cash, and said, I want to help you. So she set up a GoFundMe, and Heather, you actually read earlier what that stated, where she wanted to wind up getting first and last month's rent for the guy, about 6 months worth of money to cover expenses for 6 months, maybe get him some clothing, get him a reliable vehicle, and help him get back on his feet. And he's alleging that the couple here, in this case, it is, let me find the names here, Mark D'Amico and Katie McClure. He's alleging, and his lawyers were in court earlier today, alleging that the couple committed fraud and conspiracy by taking large amounts of the donations to, quote, enjoy a lifestyle they could not afford and using the account as their personal piggy bank. Again, the judge that heard this case earlier today said that whatever is left must be put in an account that's being overseen by the legal team here that, again, is working pro bono for Mr. Bobbitt. The Philly Inquirer says exactly how much of the money is left is unknown. D'Amico earlier this month told an Inquirer and Daily News reporter that $200,000 remains and is sitting in the couple's savings account. But this week, D'Amico told NBC talk show host Megyn Kelly about $150,000 was left. Ernest E. Badway, an attorney for McClure and D'Amico, told the judge that Bobbitt received about $200,000 since last fall when the couple first set up the GoFundMe account. McClure started the GoFundMe to help Bobbitt, who again had been living under an on-ramp of I-95, and gave McClure $20 that apparently was the last amount of money that he had on him at the time. Badway told the judge, "The idea that my clients are the bad guys is completely not true." After donations poured in, McClure and D'Amico tried to set up appointments between Bobbitt, lawyers, and financial advisors to handle the large sums of donations. But they say that Bobbitt was not interested in attending those meetings. Bobbitt's counsel said that their client received closer to $75,000 from the account, part of which was spent on a camper and a used SUV that were put under McClure's name and then later sold. Badway said Bobbitt requested the vehicle be put in McClure's name. Christopher Fallon, one of Bobbitt's attorneys, told reporters after the hearing, "That's outrageous. None of us have gone through $200,000 in 9 months." Bobbitt, still homeless and struggling with addiction, did not appear in court on Thursday. His attorney said he spent one night in a motel last week, but he is otherwise living on the streets while going to a non-residential detox treatment program. McClure and D'Amico were also absent from the hearing, so it sounds like it was just the legal representation.
Right.
Bobbitt had expressed concerns in a recent article with the Inquirer that the couple had mismanaged the GoFundMe money by spending some of the donations on vacations to California, a new BMW, and for gambling. Bobbitt said D'Amico refused to give him the money and told him in June to leave the camper that he had been living in on the property that the McClure family owns. Jacqueline Premislow, another one of Bobbitt's attorneys, again working pro bono, said we need to make sure that the money is safe while a full accounting is done. More than 14,000 people donated to help Johnny buy a house, but he doesn't have access to the money. McClure, a receptionist for the New Jersey Department of Transportation, and D'Amico, a carpenter, have denied those claims. D'Amico said he spent $500 of the GoFundMe money to gamble because he did not want to have his Sugar House Casino card one night, and he repaid the money with his winnings. The couple has said that they are wary of giving Bobbitt money because they feared he would use it to feed his drug addiction. Again, the judge here has said they have until Friday afternoon to put the money in an account that will be overseen by the law firm of Cozen O'Connor. The money will be frozen until there is a full forensics account of the money.
Well, it's just a windfall for everybody. At least that's how everybody seemed to treat it. So you've got the couple who set up the GoFundMe, who has access to the money. They could, well, we do know they at least bought a BMW. They did go on a couple vacations. We don't know if that money came from that, but it smells a little funny.
Right. Oh, we made a personal law. It reminds me of, and do you remember the movie Dumb and Dumber from like 20-something years ago?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Where they find the briefcase, and at first they just think like the lady lost her briefcase. I'm going to help this lady get her briefcase back, and then they discover that there's a bunch of money in it, and so then they just start writing IOUs.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it's all IOUs in the thing, and they just blew through the $1 million.
That one's for a Ferrari. You might want to hold on to that one.
Yeah, they're like, we promise we'll repay it. We don't know how, but we'll put it back in there.
A classic of American cinematography. That is right up there with Citizen Kane, in my opinion. Absolutely.
Never seen it.
Citizen Kane?
Yeah.
Or Dumb and Dumber?
Oh, I've seen Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. So Rosebud.
Probably dozens of times.
Rosebud means nothing to you.
Rosebud, that's the town that Chevy Chase moves into in Funny Farm.
Ah. Welcome to obscure movie
hey, Mac,
night.
How do I get to Rosebud? How'd you know my name was Mac? Just
guessed. Then why don't you just guess?
Oh my God!
And then he gets the yellow dog.
I'll take
that he
your word
thinks
for it,
is
Darryl.
all kinds of calm, and then they get it to the farm, and it just goes off running, and they never see the dog again.
I've never seen the movie either.
Spoiler warning!
No, the Citizens Kane one.
You've never seen Citizen Kane?
No, what is that?
It was for a long time.
Hitchcock?
No, it was Orson Welles wrote and directed.
All
But
right.
Really good movie. Really old movie, but it was good. So it's on most lists of like the best movies of all time.
Yeah. Your
Near the
calls
top.
and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. What, in your opinion, is the best movie of all time? This is Free Talk Live.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH, with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin Cash, BCH. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com. That's wallet.bitcoin.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Most of you know that heart disease is the #1 silent killer in the U.S. What if I told you for just $54.95 a month you could fight against heart disease naturally? At Heart and Body Extract, we've been helping thousands of people get back to a healthier heart. Don't just take my word for it. Check out all of the success stories at hbextract.com, or to order, call 866-295.
Free Market Penguin, I want to try testing this connection with you. Are you there?
Do you hear me? Do you hear me?
Yeah, I can barely hear you now.
Okay, it's a new headset, so.
Okay, yeah. Ian just said that he thought you might have had the wrong sound card selected or something.
No, I had the mic disabled on this phone.
Got it. All right. Yeah, I'm hearing you good. So we're in the middle of the break. I'll get to you when we come out.
Okay, thanks.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. In studio tonight, it's Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And Heather, you've got some kind of story we'll get into here in moments about some robot that puts on your skin or something, the Hannibal bot, or... I'm not really sure.
It's the robot you can wear.
It's coming from the Daily Mail, and it talks about robots wearing things. The Hannibal bot, it puts the lotion on the basket or something.
You wear the robot. The robot doesn't wear you. Come on, Darryl.
Until the robot becomes self-aware and turns everything inside out. Let's go to Free Market Penguin calling in on Discord. You're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hey, yeah, sorry about the technical difficulties earlier.
No worries.
Yep.
I wanted to call because I've been hearing a lot about recently, actually a couple of weeks ago, for a few weeks, about Cody Wilson and the Liberator 3D printed gun, the other one, the Ghost Gunner.
Yeah.
And,
So the Ghost Gunner and the Liberator are two different things. The Liberator is a 3D printed gun. The Ghost Gunner is a CNC machine that you put
an
80% lower into, and then it puts the holes in the appropriate spot.
But can I hop in real quick? No, you go ahead with
you're the gun guy.
I am the gun guy, but you go ahead with your thoughts because I just have an update on this if you don't touch on it. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, and that's why I wanted to call on Thursday night, because I know Chris is the gun guy, and
the gun guy.
You know, different people know different things about this stuff. Basically, so the 3D printed guns, basically, they try to get them on two things. I know there is a federal law saying you can't make firearms that are undetectable.
Right.
Which they claim that there's not enough metal components. And I think they might have remedied that. But that's one angle they're trying to attack him with, for the actual physical guns that he makes. And then for the schematics, they're trying to get him on. I think they're trying to get him on ITAR, which is the international, I think, treaty against some kind of arms trafficking.
That's their excuse.
Right. And there was actually a workaround that Cody Wilson came up with, where if you wind up signing up for an email list and making a donation and saying, I am a U.S. citizen,
yes,
then he will email the files, which fits within what the judge has prohibited him from doing. The judge has just said, you're not allowed to post this on the internet.
On the internet for free.
Well,
yeah,
shooting it via email is not the same as posting on the internet. Now, I will say that if you go to 3d.fpp.cc, you can get some torrent files.
Yeah, and what I was going to add to that was the DefCAD today rolled out basically an online store where you can buy, for any amount you wish to donate, any plans to for any of the plans that they have. So if you go to defcad.com right now, you'll see Discover the Growing Library of Files, you'll see Buy, and you'll see Contribute. So right now, I'm looking at it, and I would I'd like to build a Ruger 1022, and here are the plans, and it'll come up and it'll suggest like $10.
Nice.
But you can put in however much you want. You can do 308 lowers.
Is that the collapsible 1022?
No, it's not the breakdown model, but hey, just get a saw.
So is that 1022, is that the receiver is actually 3D printed?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked at the plans, but I know that the 1022 is one of those, such a basic design, and it's been done for so many years. I think most of that stuff's probably within the public domain. I mean, that's how long that thing's been around. So it's one of those that's really easy to reproduce.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get into technical details because I'm not sure exactly how much of that can actually be 3D printed using plastics. Maybe it's with metal 3D printing. I really don't know. But and then the Ghost Gunner, to touch on the other one. Yeah, so basically, like you said, it's 80% lower. Literally, if you buy a forged aluminum paperweight and it's in the shape of an AR receiver, but it's only 80% there in the manufacturing process, you can machine it out yourself with the Ghost Gunner, and you've personally manufactured a personally used firearm, doesn't have to be serialized.
Right.
And I think the law is, though, that if you have to own the 80% lower paperweight miscellaneous object you can get, however.
Right.
You have to own the Ghost Gunner, and you have to own and never transfer, I think, the resulting receiver.
Yeah.
Right. And
firearm.
the definition of transfer, as I understand it, is written so broadly to where, Chris, if you and I go to a gun range somewhere and I say, hey, that's a cool gun, can I fire 2 rounds? And you say, sure. Technically, you have transferred that firearm.
Yeah, I think that's, and the question is that being pedantic with the law, or is that something that the government may actually bring charges on? I'd say anything you bring up like that, the government may bring charges on.
I believe they have brought charges against people for something as simple as that form of transfer, which is the only reason I mention it.
Yeah, for things like that. I mean, and if you let you handed the gun to somebody who has a felony, that could bring a whole nother set. But they got plans for a Beretta 92 FS. That was the old standard military sidearm that replaced the 1911. Plus, you can get 1911. So and even if you're not a gun guy, if you just value liberty, I encourage you to go check out defcad.com. Let's make sure they get plenty of web traffic, number one. And if you feel like
they are not a sponsor.
No, they're not. They're not.
Right.
But they're good people to support. And if you want to contribute and toss them a couple bucks, they'd appreciate it. Because they've had a long legal fight, and they've got more ahead of them, and they're doing it.
That's awesome. It really is great. But Chris, let me ask you. So, if I'm not mistaken, though, I know if you get an 80% lower, don't you actually have to own the machine, or at least do the machining yourself?
Yeah.
In order to
leave
it, you do have to.
Yeah. So one way is to use the Ghost Gunner, and that machine is probably the easiest possible way you could ever turn an 80% lower into a functional lower, because it just does it all. Other ways you can do it, you can build your own CNC files and do it with a CNC machine. I've got a buddy who did his with a drill, which you can do it with a drill press. And
I don't recommend.
It can be done, and he built a successful one. He just said it was a real pain.
If you built your own forge, you could, forge your own lower. Just because somebody has done it doesn't mean I recommend.
No, if you go,
that is the possibility.
If you look into the 80% lowers, you'll also find that most companies that sell those also sell jigs and things like that to help you finish it. So prior to the Ghost Gunner, that's what guys did. They got a quality drill press, drilled down to make all the pins to the right size, and you're using your micrometer to make sure you're within spec, and it's not that tight of a spec, just for those parts of a lower. But it's doable, but you don't need a Ghost Gunner. You do need.
You don't need one, but it helps.
It helps, and an 80% lower you absolutely need. Go ahead.
Yeah, we're not all necessarily. But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there because a lot of people have varying levels of knowledge. Definitely don't take a slab of aluminum turns into a firearm.
Right. Now I've heard people say that if you take just a slab of aluminum and put it in this thing, then it turns it into a gun.
Oh, no. I just saw something from parents, some parents of Newtown group on, what was it? It was on Twitter, and somebody had retweeted it, but, I click on their link to this latest scare story, and it says a Utah man threatened to use a 3D printed gun that he didn't yet own to shoot up a bunch of schools. And that's why this stuff can't exist.
Wow.
Because this guy threatened to shoot up schools with a gun he doesn't own and hasn't made. Yeah.
Free Market Penguin, thank you for the call. Let's go to Floyd calling in from Detroit. Floyd, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Did you call me Floyd? It's Lloyd from Detroit.
It says Floyd up here, so go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, so I just want to let you guys know that when you tested that last caller during the break, I heard it. It cut the commercials off. I heard it.
I shouldn't have done that. I thought I waited long enough. But go ahead with your thought.
Well, yeah. Well, I was going to say, though, if Lauren Rumpler were there, that probably would have happened.
Lloyd, thank you for the call. Yeah.
I don't get that. What was that all about?
He's infatuated with Lauren Rumpler, and he always calls to try to basically make some kind of statement of...
Who's Lauren?
Objectivist Girl. Does she still go by that?
As Objectivist Girl.
The artist formerly known as Objectivist Girl.
Yeah.
She's been around the liberty community for a few years.
Celebritarian type.
Yep.
Fairly attractive. Yeah.
Fairly. Darryl?
Ian's over there shaking his head.
Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733.
Have you experienced the miracle of CBDs? They can help you reduce suffering, reduce stress, help you sleep better, modulate inflammation in the body, and is absolutely safe. Meta Hemp Solutions offers a radically innovative approach to CBDs for exceptional results. Stop suffering and reduce your stress now. Isn't it time for a good night's sleep? Stop worrying about tomorrow today. Lab tested for potency, purity, and is non-psychoactive. Free shipping to all 50 states. Try our product risk-free, money-back guarantee. Use code GCN15 to get 15% off. That's code GCN15 to get 15% off. Offer ends soon, so visit MetaHemp Solutions today at metahempsolutions.com or call 833-858-7500. Suffer no more. Get rid of the stress and sleep better. Get our product now at metahempsolutions.com. That's metahempsolutions.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Darryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Thursday, August 30th, 2018. Silver is trading at $14.68 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,206 per ounce. Zen is trading at $18, and the average price of Bitcoin is $6,881. Antiwar.com reports one day after Pentagon officials said they expected to soon resume major war games in South Korea, they have been overruled by President Trump. Trump issued a statement on Wednesday saying he sees no reason to resume war games now. Trump announced the halt to war games after his summit with Kim Jong-un. He said the exercises were provocative to North Korea and that the U.S. would save a fortune by not engaging in them. Since most war games in South Korea simulate an invasion of North Korea, they do indeed tend to raise tensions significantly. The Pentagon's talk of resuming war games comes after President Trump canceled Secretary of State Mike Pompeo's planned visit to North Korea. This was raising a lot of concern that U.S. talks with North Korea were about to collapse. This was followed up with reports that North Koreans had sent a belligerent letter to Trump. Officials have since clarified that the letter sought a peace deal with the U.S., which U.S. officials say they aren't willing to offer. Trump downplayed all of this talk, however, saying he thinks his relationship with Kim is doing well. He went on to accuse China of putting tremendous pressure on North Korea to not make any progress. Trump added that he can restart the war games anytime he wants, and if he does, they will be far bigger than ever before. Born into a devastating world and raised among the crowd, the Cloudwalker assumes a new identity and begins the unrelenting quest for truth. In this epic journey, he discovers dark secrets about aspects of his previous life that he once trusted. Through the Journal of the Cloudwalker, he shares both the traumatic hardships and the eternal beauties of his experiences. Fueled in the beginning by his unsettling thoughts and emotions, he learns how to find peace with everything he has woken up to. Dear Society by the Cloudwalker is available from Amazon.com and all major bookstores. UPI reports Detroit school officials shut off drinking water at all of the district schools after testing revealed that some had elevated levels of lead and copper in their water, according to an announcement from the superintendent. Detroit Public Schools Community District Superintendent Nikolai Vitti said there were water quality issues at 34 of the district's more than 100 schools, including 18 with pre-existing problems where water filters had been installed. The school district undertook testing during the spring and found 16 locations had higher than acceptable levels of copper and/or lead in one or more water source. Vitti said he immediately turned off all drinking water at those schools and provided them with bottled water until water coolers could be installed. Vitti said in a statement emailed to UPI, although we have no evidence that there are elevated levels of copper or lead in our other schools, over 50, where we are awaiting test results, out of an abundance of caution and concern for the safety of our students and employees, I am turning off all drinking water in all our schools until a deeper and broader analysis can be conducted to determine the long-term solution for our schools. Students were scheduled to return to school after the summer break next week. Detroit is about 70 miles southeast of Flint, Michigan, which has been plagued with tainted water since April 2014 when city officials decided to draw water from the Flint River, switching from its previous source of Lake Huron. In addition to causing lead poisoning in children, the improperly treated water supply led to a deadly outbreak of Legionnaire's disease.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at weusecoins.com.
Reuters reports a former University of Southern California gynecologist accused of sexually assaulting hundreds of students has agreed to suspension of his medical license. Dr. George Tyndall reached an agreement this week with the Medical Board of California, temporarily prohibiting him from practicing medicine until it makes a final decision on the status of his license, according to a board spokeswoman, Susan Walbarst. Attorneys for Tyndall did not respond to requests for comment, and USC has not responded to a request for comment on the suspension of Tyndall's license. Tyndall resigned from USC last year after an internal inquiry found that some of his examination practices went beyond accepted medical standards and that he had harassed his patients. Thus far, he has not been charged with any crime. The university had suspended Tyndall in 2016 after a complaint from a health worker accusing him of making sexually inappropriate comments to patients. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Hollywood's biggest stars are rallying for a good cause this week with the Save Our Children campaign. Celebs like Jessica Simpson, Brad Pitt, and Gwyneth Paltrow headlined a charity event to help their suffering kids who desperately need a chance to live a normal life. Angelina Jolie talked to Starfix about the charity, saying, quote, "You don't have to be a mother to want to help my children, many of whom are not getting a proper education. If you look at the numbers, 1 in 5 of my children will struggle with drug problems." Joining us now is a representative from the charity, Julie Harrison. Julie, it was such a great cause.
Absolutely. We're talking about children who don't have any positive role models. They're born into a life they didn't ask for, and if the state's not going to step up and help these kids, it's time someone did something.
Here's a quote from Victoria Beckham, and I found this powerful. "It breaks my heart to think about these kids living somewhere in my house with no hope for a happy future. Who knows if they even have food to eat?" Julie, according to your group's website, a staggering number of STARS children are being exploited growing up without parents.
Right.
This is the Onion News Network.
This is Free Talk Live, kicking off hour number 3. You can call in and join us by dialing toll-free 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And we'll go back to the phones here in just a second, but I still want to tease this story, and hopefully we'll be able to get to it, about some kind of self-aware artificial robot intelligence thing that either you wear as a suit or maybe it winds up just absorbing you and it wears you.
It's an AI-powered suit bot
that might wind up making you the suit.
If you remember, if you listened last Thursday, me and Chris teased that we were going to bring in super cool,
you
nerdy
said you wanted to bring in some tech stories.
Tech stories of some of the crazy stuff that is out there that we never talk about. And I am a woman of my word, unlike someone else sitting here at the mic tonight.
There were just some really important stories out there.
Yeah. Let's go to the phones. We've got Dwight calling in from Maryland. Dwight, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Okay, so you guys tend to bounce around just a little bit with your topics, but my
really?
Originally when I called in, you guys were talking about I think it was probably the state of policing in America, something like that. But
could have been.
You guys were talking about 80% lowers and gun laws, and that's something that's very precious to my heart. So, what I think is very funny, I'm from Maryland, and the gun laws are written in such a way here in the state that they are very, very gray. So, so I can purchase a 308 AR with zero issue over the counter same day. But if I want to purchase, say, an AR-15, I have to go through my 7-day wait period, background checks, hand fingerprinting. I've got to go through the handgun qualification course, so on and so forth. But according to the ATF, I should be able to manufacture these things in my home, no problem, no issue, as long as I am a legally able firearms owner. It's a very gray area. I've talked to the state police. They can't explain the laws to me any better than I can understand them as a regular citizen.
And some of the time, these things are intentionally vague, to where you have politicians that will either. Sometimes it's not intentional, but sometimes it is.
I feel like 90% of laws are gray to cops.
Well, in this case, I mean, Maryland, when they passed theirs, and I used to live in Maryland, I feel your pain. But it's just a shame that they just wanted to write it broadly enough that they could pretty much outlaw anything they like.
So sometimes they want it to be intentionally vague enough to where there's enough, judicial discretion or whatever to where they can prosecute anybody for anything.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody winds up getting caught for something that they did not intend, and I'm using air quotes for people that might be watching the webcam, we didn't mean for that to be covered.
Right.
Then they can wind up using some kind of CYA statement.
Yeah.
That's not what we meant, but, technically it's in violation.
And I want to throw out one other thing, and then I want to hear your thoughts. But there's also this is a systemic problem where you have on one hand the Second Amendment, which is supposed to protect our right to keep and bear arms.
Supposed to.
And we also have the 10th Amendment.
Right.
That says that, anything not delegated to the federal government is left to the people and to the states.
Right. And the original intent was that those things applied to the federal government, not necessarily to the states. But then there was some kind of ruling of, the 14th Amendment means that most of the Constitution applies to the states, asterisk, except for when we say it doesn't.
Right. So please go ahead with your thoughts.
Now, when you have the when authority is delegated to the state, it gets super, super, super gray when, especially in Maryland, the federal government is it seems like intentionally vague when it comes to regulated firearms.
Yeah.
You can take a state like Arizona in contrast to a state like Maryland. Whereas in Arizona, I know I can go in, cash and carry a handgun out of the store that day, no issue. Whereas in Maryland, I have to go through this whole rigmarole, which is, I guess, in my mind, it seems that it's very reasonable that a person, maybe you're going to make a rash decision, and we're going to give you that 7-day wait in case you're planning on doing something wild.
Now, I've got a question here about the claim that in Arizona you can walk in and buy a handgun without having to fill out the federal
still
form.
going to do a 4473 for the feds.
Now, here's the thing, though. I can do face-to-face trades in the state of Arizona.
Correct. I can do
go
that. Right.
Meet a guy. I can meet a guy in Walmart, and I can buy a handgun from that guy in that Walmart parking lot with zero issue.
Right, but that's not the same as buying the gun from Walmart.
No.
It's not. I'm just in the parking lot.
Right.
Now, I'm not saying there's any issue with that. I think that people should be able to own firearms, but I also believe that not everyone probably should.
Yeah.
I'm a common sense gun owner.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say that again.
I'm a common sense gun owner.
Okay.
There are people that I believe shouldn't be able to own them.
See, my thing is those people shouldn't be on the streets in the first place to get guns. So if somebody's that dangerous of a criminal, right, where that they don't deserve their right to bear arms, then they shouldn't be on the streets.
They haven't committed a crime.
Not a criminal.
Right.
They haven't committed a crime.
So did I hear you?
Committed a crime.
Did I hear you when you said you were okay with like a 7-day waiting period? Make sure it wasn't just.
I am okay with it to a degree, I suppose. I don't know where that line should be drawn. I'm not a lawmaker. I don't know where that line should be drawn, whereas a person can or can't own a firearm,
right,
or how long they should wait, or anything like that.
Can I offer this?
I'm not sure where that line is drawn.
Not to contrast Maryland and New Hampshire, but we're broadcasting from New Hampshire. We have none of those waits, and we have a much lower crime rate than Maryland does. So,
but you have zero inner city in New Hampshire.
Zero inner city. We have inner city not too far away. I'm talking about Boston.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's in Massachusetts, not New Hampshire.
Yeah, and I understand the difference between Baltimore and The Wire and New Hampshire.
Yeah.
Baltimore, Glen Burnie, Forestville. I mean, we have endless of these metropolitan areas that have intensely high crime where I don't think some of these people should be able to go in and just grab a gun. Straw purchases are a huge issue in my area.
I think you need more armed citizens down there, honestly, and
do too.
And that's where I look at like the issues of Baltimore. Absolutely, and this is where things stray for me. I don't think Baltimore's major issues are guns and the accessibility of guns. The major issue is the war on drugs. And that's what Baltimore's all about. And surrounding areas. It's a drug war. It's the Fallujah of Maryland.
And you got to think too that any gun laws that you guys like impose down there, they're only going to be followed by law-abiding citizens. They're not going to be followed by these, gangbangers and whatnot.
Well,
so basically, you're just
only keep honest people honest.
Right.
They only keep honest people honest.
Exactly. And so, like, the more gun laws and stuff that are imposed in that area, it's just going to make more people susceptible to these thugs, these armed thugs that are going to, kind of bring chaos and stuff to the community.
But Maryland has turned into a very big government state, and that's that's what you're going to get. You're going to get trying to correct societal issues through more regulation, and it doesn't work. And it's just sad that to me,
Maryland ranked number 45 in the recent Freedom in the 50 States rankings that came out.
No doubt. Can I ask what part of Maryland you're from?
I'm from Southern Maryland, down here in Mechanicsville, good old Mechanicsville.
Nice. I lived in Frederick and Hagerstown for years.
Okay. Yeah, I've been up to Hagerstown. It's
yep.
nice.
You not to the
Farm
prisons,
country.
not to the prisons, right?
Is that where you lived, Chris?
It's like Hagerstown's major issue or major industry was state prisons. So you'll see on The Wire, for example, a lot of those guys end up in Hagerstown. So
Dwight, thank you for.
Hey, so just to close out my comment, I just want to know if that chick is too hot for a dick pic. You know what I'm saying?
No, you can't say that.
Such a good call, and then that.
Yeah, he was a Twitch caller. I'm surprised he didn't go there sooner. He doesn't get a thank you for the call now. Your calls and thoughts welcome. 855-450 free. This is Free Talk Live.
She's such a beautiful little puppy. I mean, we walk around the block and neighbors always say, her hair is so beautiful.
Healthy and shiny and glossy. DINOVITE.com.
Fatty acids, omega-3s, and omega-6s are great for healthy skin and soft, shiny coats.
I would really recommend people
starting their puppies on Dynamite before they get into what I would call the misery index. Bad skin, bad ears, bad breath.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the allergies,
grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it.
And the itching and shedding down the road.
Our vitamins and enzymes replace the nutrients cooked out of most commercial dog foods.
Dynavite for life.
This is Ed Lukasevic
and Cindy Lukasevic,
inviting you and your pets to Dynavite.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Bitcoin.com wants you to know about SaveItPurse.com. Since launching in 2014, over 200,000 users have saved an average of 15% for a combined $4 million using Bitcoin, or BTC. And now you can use Bitcoin Cash, BCH, to fund your account. You can save between 5 to 33% on things you're going to buy anyway when you shop using SaveItPurse.com. Add items to your cart, fund your account, select your discount, and save. SaveItPurse.com. SaveATPurse.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Did you know that Free Aid is a mutual aid, educational, and networking organization? At Free Aid, we support volunteers who provide first aid. We do outreach to the public about health and safety, and we bring together medically skilled freedom lovers. Free Aid is made possible by your generous support. Donors can receive great gifts like first aid kits, t-shirts, silver dime cards, and hoodies. The Free Aid Silver Dime Card Project is sponsored in part by Roberts & Roberts Brokerage, Freedom's Phoenix, and Don't Tread on Meme. Visit fr33aid.com.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. Your calls and thoughts welcome, where you can join us and bring up whatever is on your mind. The us in studio tonight is Darryl.
And Heather.
And Chris.
And before we get back to the phones, I want to make sure that I tell you about Liberty.menu. Libertarians have been wanting something like this for at least a decade that I'm aware of. What am I talking about? An online directory of liberty-minded businesses. And Liberty.menu is doing that and more. At its core is a directory for events, businesses, digital content, and more. Listings can be rated and reviewed, kind of like on Yelp, but there's also a bit of a social networking aspect where you can connect and share with other users. Use of Liberty.menu is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. Put your voluntarist ideas into action at liberty.menu. Use code FTL to get a special Free Talk Live listener badge. Liberty.menu. Let's go back to the phones. We've got Bad Slave calling in from New Hampshire. Bad Slave, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Thank you. So there is a lawsuit being proposed down in Jacksonville, Florida, where this what's this business called?
There was some gamer convention, or not a convention, but there was a tournament of people playing Madden 19, and one of the guys that apparently lost the tournament.
Right.
And from what I'm understanding, there's still not a lot of details that have come out on this. So if I get some of the facts wrong, please forgive me. But as I understand it, there was one of the gamers that had lost in the tournament, although I later heard that he wasn't actually in the tournament this year. He got mad that he lost a year ago, but showed up and just started shooting at some of the other competitors. Last I heard, it was either 2 or 4 people dead and up to 11 wounded.
I don't know all of those details exactly, but people are dead, others are wounded, and so some number of those people are taking up and have, I guess, the endorsement of a law firm that's going to, file a suit against the Jacksonville Landing, I guess the business.
Yeah, that's the name of the shopping mall or shopping center that this thing was being housed in.
Exactly, and I've been waiting for this lawsuit for nearly half a lifetime, because what it is it is going to make responsible, hopefully in the right way, the purveyors of gun-free zones. In other words, free fire zones for the armed crazies out there, because there's all these places all over the country that say, oh, you can't bring guns in here, but do absolutely nothing to do anything about,
well, they put up a sign.
Security.
Yes.
Right.
In some of these cases, and yes, I agree that the sign is practically useless. But in some of these cases, the only reason that these places are gun-free zones is a group of politicians got together and forced them to make that decision, if you will.
Well, it's not just politicians; it's private companies, private businesses that are keeping. I went
in
to,
some cases, yes, but then in other cases, it's not necessarily the business owner.
A restaurant. I went into the restaurant, and I was open carrying, actually. And I wandered in there, and I sat down, and I ordered some dinner, and it just so happened that I was turned so that my exposed firearm was pointing out into the middle of the area, and the owner or manager came in. Oh, you can't have that.
Okay.
And I said, well, I didn't know that, and so, but if you actually see me carry that out and then come back in to have my dinner, then what you're doing is you're placing an unintended firearm in a car somewhere, and if somebody happens to see that, then what's going to happen next? And so he says. He actually let me keep the gun and said that next time you come in, don't have it. But I should have had an argument with him then, because, listen, what else are you going to do? I mean, you're obviously, he was in the doorway when I walked through, and he didn't even, see that I had a friggin' 45 semi-automatic, strapped on my hip.
Yeah,
fully exposed.
And I this one's tough for me because I'm very much pro right to defend yourself. We just have that right.
Right.
Government didn't give it to us. The Second Amendment didn't give it to us.
Right.
We've had that forever.
It's part of our right to life. If we don't get to defend ourselves,
we have no.
Then all bets are off.
Right. And this is a quote from H.L. Mencken that I love, and I always listen to that. I believe in one thing, liberty, but I do not believe in liberty enough to want to force it upon anyone. So if a private shop, a restaurant or whatever decides that they don't want guns in there, fine. I don't have to go there and eat. I don't go to Starbucks. I couldn't tell you the last time I walked into a Target, because that's what it is. I don't go to Panero. There's all sorts of places that I just choose not to go. I choose not to go to New York, which makes it really hard to travel.
Yeah.
Because that's kind of one you have to go through. But if I don't have to, I'm just not going to go there. But New Hampshire is interesting because, regardless, you have that right, and you can sometimes strike up conversations. It doesn't ever have to be an argument.
There are some restaurants, and Bad Slave, thank you for the call. There are some restaurants in New Hampshire that they give an open carry discount.
Yeah, which is a great idea. A lot of people they'll talk about, all these guns and everything goes wrong and people can't be trusted. And I'm sorry, New Hampshire, I've lived all over the country, and New Hampshire isn't that different than anywhere else I've ever lived. It's not. It's still, we don't have as much urban area, and that's a valid point. But the people are people, and we just don't have these issues. So what the heck are the other 49 states doing? I just don't get it.
That's a very good question. Let's go to someone calling himself Pinky from the Grand Canyon. Pinky, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Is that
Mommy?
Is that your thought?
Mama says.
All right, I don't know what Mama was going to say, but probably something I was going to have to hit the dump button on. Thank you for the call.
We will never know.
55-450 free 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live, and coming up, artificial intelligent robots that wear you as a suit.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original, most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
After decades of searching the cosmos, today NASA announced that what it was really looking for was right here on planet Earth all along.
For years, we've foolishly chased after comets, moons, and stars. Outer space may be beautiful, but it's not as beautiful as the smile of a child, nor as sublime as a good bottle of wine shared among friends. Our search ends where it began, here on this big blue marble.
Astronomers say that while their telescopes were pointing at Mars, they never even noticed the planet that was right in front of them. NASA now plans to appreciate what they already have. The agency's latest report, entitled Wonder is Everywhere, Finding the Beauty in the Everyday, calls for further study of the little things that truly give life meaning.
Warm rain on a summer day, the smell of pine trees, touching the worn paper of your favorite book, that's what's always made us happy, not some asteroid a million miles away.
This is the Onion News Network.
Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippies! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. We'll get into this possibly murderous robot that might wear you as a suit story here in just a second. But want to invite you, if you like the show, to join the AMP program. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And your $5 a month helps us do those three things. Helps us advertise, market, and promote the show specifically to program directors that wind up making the decision to add us to new radio stations. We're on over 190 coast to coast right now. We can be on even more, and your help can help us do that. And of course, it's not just you giving us money. You get things in return. There's an AMP-only room in the Discord. There's an AMP-only Facebook group. There's an AMP-only podcast that doesn't have the commercials that the regular podcast has. And there's probably a couple other perks that I can't even think of off the top of my head. amp.freetalklive.com.
All right, so the moment you guys have all been waiting for, because Darryl's been teasing this story for the last couple segments.
Murderous AI robots that wear your body as a suit.
Not quite. This is the robot that you can wear. LG unveils its new artificial intelligence-powered suit bot that enhances leg movements to help warehouse workers lift heavy objects. So
the robot doesn't right now wear you as a suit, but once this AI becomes self-aware...
I mean, it's still in all of these beginning stages. So let's just get right into that.
He's just going straight to Terminator.
Exactly. He's
skipping everything.
Exactly.
Right.
So workers of the future could be given a boost thanks to a wearable robotic suit developed by LG. Dubbed, I believe this is Chloe Suitbot. The AI-powered robotic suit boosts the leg movements of its wearer, letting them undertake tasks they normally wouldn't be equipped to handle.
Yeah, it sounds like a murderous robot.
My first thought when I hear stuff like this, when I read this article, was like what is it? Like those movies where they kind of wear the suit, but they control the transformer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Those in Matrix and stuff like that. Yeah.
So that's all in the realm of possibilities now because of stuff like this. So
didn't the Power Rangers have these?
I think so, yeah.
I don't know.
No, they totally did. When they were inside their little...
They would get inside the thing and then, form together to make the big giant...
Go Power Rangers.
Yeah.
So the firm says it could use to help warehouse workers who have to lift heavy objects. The Chloe Soup Bot can communicate with other service robots built by LG to become part of a smart working network to coordinate around the factory floor. A concept version of the technology was unveiled at a media launch during the annual IFA Tech Conference, which is held in Berlin from August 31st to September 5th.
All right, so hold on. It says that this, I'm guessing they mean it will be unveiled because it's not yet August 31st, and this story is from today. So either this was written by a time traveler, or they got some kind of press release from LG, and this is like paid content.
Well,
but
possibly.
Looking at this picture, it looks like the guy's wearing the Forrest Gump magic legs.
Right.
From the beginning of the movie before he starts running and the magic legs just fly off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's interesting because there's a lot of course, a lot of military applications for this. LG doesn't talk about military use in this, and this looks like a civilian
I wonder if maybe
sort of thing.
I'll have to double check that date.
Yeah, the published date is August 30th, 2018.
Yeah, no, I mean the date of the conference. They probably got the date of the conference wrong.
Yeah. Or they just poorly wrote that sentence. And they weren't intending to publish this today.
Yeah.
Let's continue with the article
Let's
here.
talk about it.
So SoupBot was designed in collaboration with fellow South Korean firm SG Robotics. The firm has been studying how wearable robots can improve people's quality of life, including people with paralysis. The collaborative effort, SoupBot, is part of LG's growing Chloe AI robot range. Previous droids in the same range include a cleaning robot and serving robot. SoupBot is aimed squarely at the industrial sector. However, its feasible medical versions of the same technology could be on the horizon if they prove successful. AI technology allows SoupBot to learn and evolve through analysis of biometric and environmental data. This allows it to cater to an individual worker's particular weaknesses as it learns about their movements. According to LG, tailoring the movements and level of support for each individual also allows SoupBot to optimize its power consumption and conserve battery.
It's always a big challenge.
Yeah, and I'm starting to think here, especially when they mentioned...
It's kind of creepy, too, when artificial intelligence is literally scoping out our weaknesses.
Right, and then it winds up wearing you. But no,
I know Darryl's theory coming true.
on some of these where it talks about medical stuff. So let's say Christopher Reeve. He was well known as Superman, and then he had some injury.
He had a less than successful time at riding horses.
I couldn't remember what the injury was.
Successful actor, less than successful at English riding.
But, he had a severe neck injury, left him paralyzed. Luckily, he was one of the small percentage that survives that particular accident. But he was left paralyzed. And I know he went through some kind of something towards the end of his life to where he did wind up taking a couple of steps.
Yeah.
And I forget what the thing was. But could this SoupBot thing wind up being used to help someone who is paralyzed from the neck down to be able to have a life again outside of a wheelchair?
I maybe not Chloe. This seems like it's meant to accentuate the movements of somebody, but man, we're on the cusp of all this stuff. We're going to get things that can help people that are disabled and people that are weakened by disease to lead more normal lives. And
then the next question is, at what point does this sort of thing, if they do develop this for medical purposes to help people that are paralyzed, at what point does it cross over from medical device to transhumanism?
Right. I think
where you're blending with the technology.
Well, with the idea of an exoskeleton, it fits on you. It doesn't wear you, but it's something you wear. It's clamped onto your body.
And then you become RoboCop.
But it's not. When they get to the point where they're going to take an exoskeleton and marry it to your skin, marry it to your bone and things like that, then I think you're really in the transhumanism. Otherwise, you're just using a tool, a very
just no
effective
different than
tool.
a car.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's basically like just something to enhance your life.
Yeah.
I mean,
a cool idea.
No, because this is definitely much different than, say, a prosthetic.
Right. Well, not necessarily. Well, yeah. Because prosthetics have a lot of intelligence in them now, and it's amazing what they're doing.
Well,
with
I don't know how many of the prosthetics would be classified as AI that becomes self-aware of something.
But they're responding to nerve
signals,
and that's an important step. And it wasn't 20 years ago before that was like science fiction,
right?
So now we have something like this that may bring mobility to people who couldn't walk, and it's certainly going to make the lives of warehouse workers easier. And there's this big thing going on between Bernie Sanders and Amazon. Have either of you followed this at all?
No. What's that?
Bernie's like throwing out every accusation about how horrible Amazon is, and they don't pay their people enough money, and people are getting killed in their warehouses, and Amazon's...
I've not heard of anybody being killed in an Amazon warehouse.
Well, there have been 7 of them in the last 5 years or something like that.
Okay.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, but Amazon's been rebuffing everything they've kind of thrown at them. But the bigger point is that these are basically the jobs that many areas have. It's warehouse work, and warehouse work is dangerous work, and certainly the likelihood of back injuries is much higher.
Yeah. There's more to this, plus your calls and thoughts. 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. This is Free Talk Live. What are your thoughts on this self-aware robot that will eventually wear you?
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Dynovite is nutrition.
Pick up 2 bottles of Lico Chops, get the 3rd bottle free.
New improved Lico Chops with omega-3, omega-6, vitamin E.
And now, 6 extra direct-fed microbials.
Even better for the digestive tract and immune system.
Try Lico Chops. Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Extendivite really works. Just listen to what some people have to say.
About 6 months ago, my wife bought Extendivite. She didn't tell me she was giving it to me. So after about 3 days, I said, maybe the weather's changed or something. I said, my legs feel really good. And she goes, well, I've been giving you this stuff, and it was the Extendivite. And you know that I'm about 75% better. I can actually climb stairs now, and I can get up out of chairs. I can even get down and, I have to work under a table or a computer table and work on a computer. I can actually get back up off the floor. You know what? It's an amazing product. I didn't think anything short of having surgery was going to help.
Extendivite is only $69.95 for a 2-month supply of either capsules or liquid. Call now. That's 1-877-928-8822 or visit heartdrop.com.
Extend your life with Extendovite.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com. Advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Ovaltine. Give your kids the nutrition they need to be their best. Visit us at ovaltineusa.com. Telling your child about healthy food choices is important, but showing her what to eat goes a lot further. Have her help create the grocery list, then bring her to the store with you. Picking out healthy foods together helps kids get in the habit of thinking about what they're eating every day. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Possibly time for you and your thoughts if you call in now to 855-450-FREE. 855-450-3733. There's a little bit more to this story about these robot suit things that might become self-aware and then wind up wearing you. Plus, we'll get to the phones in just a second. But I want to tell you about the Innocence Project. Why? Well, because a lot of reasons, actually. But this November, in just over 2 months, I'll be in New York City running the world's biggest, most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon. And I'm doing it as a member of Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work, and I'm proud to be on their New York City Marathon team. In 1992, August 24th, to be exact, 20 Cardozo law students filed into a small room to kick off the first day of what was being called the Innocence Project Clinic, being led by Barry Scheck and Peter Newfield. After years as successful public defenders in New York City, Barry and Peter started the clinic to review cases of people in prison who could prove their innocence using DNA. What they thought was a few hundred cases turned out to be thousands, and a clear sign that the system needed repair. At the time, no one imagined that Barry and Peter's vision would evolve into a national organization with the power to reform the criminal justice system 26 years later. Since that day in August, the Innocence Project has helped free 208 people who have been wrongly convicted. Again, I'm raising money for the Innocence Project. You can go to run.freetalklive.com, and every penny that you donate through that link, run.freetalklive.com, goes directly to the Innocence Project. I've already secured my spot in the race, but I want to bring in $5,000. I'm at $4,500 right now. I'm fairly certain that I can bring in another $500 in the next 2 months. Run.freetalklive.com. Let's go to Sarah, and then we'll get back to this murderous robot that may or may not right now be murderous, but once it becomes self-aware, I guarantee you it kills somebody. Sarah, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead with your thoughts.
Yes, Albuquerque here. We're doing a warrant roundup right now. So we have
what's that mean?
60,000 misdemeanor warrants out. And then we have 5,000 felony warrants out.
Oh, dear.
But what that means? You know what that means is that the half of Albuquerque is going to be gone. We're going to be like empty. Where's everybody? Well,
so,
they all
Sarah,
got rounded up
hold
and
on.
got put in jail.
Question. Of all of these warrants that you just mentioned, do you know how many of them are for something as minor as, say, simple possession of marijuana?
Oh no, I do not know what the breakdown is, but
can I ask you this? Would you support like locking up all those people that have warrants for murder?
Oh yeah, that sounds like we had 75 homicides so far.
Okay, so you would be in support of finding and locking up all those people that have warrants for murder. How about rape? You support doing that?
Well, that'll be nice too.
Yeah,
that'll be nice too.
And you and I are in agreement on that. How about felony possession of marijuana?
With the intent to distribute.
With the intent to distribute. Like they just bought a bunch of pot and they want to sell it. Should those people be rounded up?
I'm not that concerned about that, but I do want them to round up the tickets they no show for the red light violating and on the speeding. Yeah, they never show up for court either.
Right.
So what should happen? They should go to prison for the rest of their life?
No, not rest of their life, but
5 years.
If you know what, do something. Take away
a year.
their license.
How long for somebody who didn't show up for a court date? How long should they spend? How many
for one of these stupid red light camera things?
Yeah, for a red light camera. How long of their liberty should they lose?
Well, maybe first time, maybe a week. If they do it again, maybe a month. If they do it again, maybe 3 months. And after that, they take their license. Don't drive for a whole year if you're that irresponsible.
At what point does the death penalty come in?
No, Darryl. My question is if you have a job, say you're a waitress or a waiter, and you can't show up for a week, you're likely to get fired.
Well, what right do you have to run a red light and T-bone somebody and put them in the hospital and die?
Okay, so now you're talking about actually creating a victim.
Wait, I have a question for Sarah.
Go ahead.
Are you going to vote for Gary Johnson?
No, I want to get back to this. I want the death penalty back. Of course I want
I know you want the death penalty back. That's why I asked, at what point does the death penalty come in for somebody that runs a red light?
No, we have 75 homicides. We're going to have another 60 homicides by Christmas.
Right, but you're the one that you kept mentioning these red light cameras. I'm just trying to figure out at what point should there be the death penalty for running a red light.
You want more homicides. That's what the death penalty is.
She doesn't see it that way.
Homicides. No, I want death penalty for rape and murder of minors. That's the only execution that we had like 25 years ago. This guy raped and murdered a 9-year-old girl. And the one that they executed in Oklahoma, he raped and murdered a 12-year-old girl that just executed. Those are the executions that I'm looking for. You know?
Trust me, I totally want those people to be executed too. I took a criminal law class in college, and what my professor told me is one of the only reasons that we stopped giving the death penalty to rapists and child rapists and stuff like that is merely so they let the victim live. Because if the crime of murder and the crime of rape carried the same sentence, then it would be in the criminal's best interest, the rapist's best interest, right, to kill his victim, because either way, he'd be getting the same punishment, which would be the death penalty. So there'd be no incentive for him to let the victim live and potentially talk. Do you know what I mean? And confess what he did to them. So then it kind of creates an incentive to kill your victim if you allow rape to carry the death penalty.
And
if that makes sense.
There have just been so many people that have been wrongly convicted and sentenced to death row for crimes that they did not commit. I cannot support the death penalty at all.
Yeah, me either.
Sarah,
you know
final thought?
Well, for your state, but you know what? Look at our homicide. We had much less homicide when we had the death penalty. Just the fact that you can be executed kept everybody in line.
See, I like that.
Sarah, we've told you before that the statistics don't actually bear out what you're saying. Whether the death penalty exists or not has almost no bearing at all statistically on the number of homicides that happen. Thank you for the call. And we've explained this numerous times. If you look at states like Texas that does have the death penalty,
right, and uses it, they love to use it.
Yeah. They've got a murder rate that is higher than a couple of their surrounding states that don't have the death penalty.
Yeah. No, I do. I think that child rapists and stuff like that should get life in prison and put in general population, which is basically the death penalty without having the death penalty, because a lot of them get offed in there.
Yeah, it's hard when we talk about life imprisonment too. So that's basically saying that this person could never be rehabilitated, can never offer anything.
I'm all fine with that. Like The way I look at it is like child rapists and all these like murderers and stuff. They're like cancer cells.
So say a 19-year-old girl and a 15-year-old boy.
See, people always bring that up, but you know what? This is why we have trials. And so when we go to trial, you know, these cases of, two teenagers that were on the same mental wavelengths, you know, screwed around, that'll come out and people won't convict them. There's a big difference between that and a grown adult taking advantage of somebody that cognitively hasn't been developed and manipulated them.
I understand what you're saying there, but people don't sentence. People only judge guilt. And after that, it's up to the judicial system. And this is why I was really excited to finally watch
Making a Murderer,
which you've talked about forever, because it's not necessarily the people. It's frustrating when people on juries don't see what you may see, but it's more frustrating when it gets into the system, and that's judges and that's prosecutors and that's all those people who really control what goes on. So, you know, we're not going to give any spoilers. We'll probably talk about whether we want to talk about this sometime, but it was an interesting documentary. But that's a question. I mean, do you put enough trust in the judges that do horrible things sometimes? Not because they're evil.
The juries, in a lot of cases, the prosecution will, prevent the defense from showing, here's DNA evidence that shows that my client wasn't there.
Right.
Jury says, guilty.
Yeah, don't believe
I urge everybody, listen to the Wrongful Conviction podcast with Jason Flom. We're out of time for tonight. This is Free Talk Live.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people